It's not just this type intensive, it's also hardware intensive.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the concurrency that runs.
And I know that internet connection also plays a
Yeah, the
role.
mic is on. Mic is on right now. It's also hardware intensive.
Okay.
Yeah, the mic is on because of the concurrency that
Can you
runs.
use your earpiece to see if you can
Yeah,
get
properly.
the hardware? And I know that internet
But there's a
connection also
lag.
plays a
Yeah, the
role.
mic is on. Mic
There
is
will
on
be
right
a
now.
lag with
It's also
internet.
alright. So I'm going offline.
Okay.
Yeah, properly.
And I know that internet
But there's a
connection also
lag.
plays a
Yeah,
role.
the mic is
There
on.
will
You
be a
can
lag
start.
with internet.
Don't start. So I'm
Yeah,
going
what?
offline.
Okay.
Reschedule.
130.
Okay. If you still want to do that, you can say do sharp.
Is anybody on the live? I don't know how I'm going to eat it at the same time to do live.
There's how many people I have? 16.
Hmm?
Just one watching. Two watching now. There are two people watching. Three people watching. There are three people watching. So I don't know. I'm eating breakfast. Good luck with your presentation.
You turned off the mic,
The
the
mic is
desktop
still
audio.
the mic is still just like the desktop stuff is off. Yeah, three people watching.
Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, can you please type in the chat that you can hear me?
Yeah, three people watching.
If you can hear me and you can see my screen, can you please
Hello,
type in
everybody. If you
the
can
chat?
hear me, can
See
you
how
please
hear me?
type in the chat that
I'm getting feedback.
I got feedback. The chat has disappeared. Oh, that's interesting.
So is it possible that I'm streaming twice? All right, we're just currently testing the live to see if we have good audio and video. So if you can hear me, please type it in the chat. Can anyone see the chat? What about my screen? Can you see my screen? Is anyone still getting feedback? All right, so welcome to today's live. Like I said, we'll be working on a color flipper using JavaScript. So I want to believe that everybody is familiar, everyone on this live is familiar with HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript. Like you may know the basics of, data types, variables, and the rest, because these are some of the basic foundations upon which you'll be building this project. Okay, so first we're going to start with creating a folder, and I want to be sure that everyone is following. I'm only getting one comment in the chat. I want to be sure that every other person, the three other people on this call, can hear and can see my screen. Can you hear me and can see my screen? So let me know if you can see my desktop. Can you see my desktop? Let me know if you can see my desktop, because I'm on my desktop and I'm trying to create a new folder for this project. Great. All right. So down on my desktop, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name this folder JavaScript for beginners, or better still, you can name it whatever you want, color flipper, whatever. So I'm going to name it JS color flipper. So I want to also believe that everybody has their VS Code. So you can go ahead and open this folder with your VS Code. Show more options, open with code. One basic thing we're going to cover in this live is we're going to learn problem solving. That's looking at a problem at a very high level abstraction before you go into the nitty-gritties of writing your code, right? So we want to try to understand the problem we're trying to solve here before we now start, creating our files and extension and all of that. So first of all, I want to create like an interactive file. Let's say I want to create a readme text so that I can communicate with us. So in this readme text, I'll be writing the basic problem here on this live that we're trying to solve. And let's assume that we have a client and we want to create a color flipper for that client. We need to understand what that color flipper is going to be achieving. Let me check the chat if everyone is following. Okay. So we need to understand what the color flipper is trying to achieve. So firstly, let's define our problem. So I would say define a problem. So more like problem statement. So that's like the first thing that we have to bear in mind. So what's the problem we're trying to solve? We want to create a color flipper, and this color flipper, upon coming to the application or the web page, the user should be able to click a button and the background color of that page changes. So in a high level abstraction, we want to ensure that we are able to take user input essentially. So from there we can now streamline it into getting our algorithm for the program. So let's say our problem is this: you are tasked with creating. Please let me know in the chat if you can still see my screen and if you can see what I'm typing. So you are tasked with creating a simple web application called Color Flipper. Right? So the application will change the background color. Let me try to put this view wrap so that you can see. Yeah. So the application will change the background color of the web page. Stating our problem, that's what we're trying to do. Every time a button is clicked. All right. So the color, we want the color should be randomly selected. So we're essentially describing everything our application will do. So that's the problem statement. So selected from a predefined list. If you notice in the previous video I shared, you see that we have like two color flippers on that web application. We have a simple one and we have one that selects RGB colors. So in this live, we're going to focus on the first one, which is the simple one. So we're going to try to create an application that selects predefined list of colors randomly. All right. So now that we have stated the problem, you get. So I'm trying to teach you a simple way to solve problems in real life situation. So we have stated our problem. What will be our requirements? When you try to go to kitchen to cook, let's say you're making rice or you're making coffee, you need to make sure that you have all your ingredients, tools and equipment, whatever it is you're using to make that coffee already set, so that you won't have problem trying to run into the cupboard or run into somewhere, run into your pantry to start looking for the ingredients. Everything needs to be set on the table. So we need to now list our requirements. You can take notes. Next thing we want to do is we want to have our requirements. And what are requirements? This application should have a button, because it's the button that will take the input of the user essentially. I'm pretty sure you're following. So we want this application to have a button. So we want the application to have a button. So we can name the button. Let's just do it like this. This application should have. I'm coming. I will check the chat to be sure that I'm not talking to myself. Let me see. So please type in chat that you can still see my screen and that you can hear me. I appreciate it if the rest of all of you can drop some reactions so that I'm sure that you are following. Okay, so let's proceed. I'm also trying to show the chat, but it seems like my chat already disappeared. Can you still see the chat? Okay, so on my end, my chat disappeared. So I'm trying to pull it all back so that I can see whatever it is that. Where's the doc? Can you hear me? Can you see my screen or you have a delay on your end?
And say the delay. I mean, if you say it's for doc.
Please give me 5 minutes. I'm trying to figure something out and we'll continue. Just 5 minutes, please. Please let me know in the chat if you can still see my screen and hear me. My network is shaky, so I had to like pause for a while. So I think we'll complete the requirement on this call. But afterwards, I will do a pre-recorded version and upload because my network is really bad. And I'm kind of having like serious delays on my end. So let's complete the requirement. So like I said, first thing we have to have the button. We're going to label the button flip color. Alright, so essentially we're just trying to gather our tools for the application. Next thing we want to consider as a requirement is the background color change. And I'd like us to put in the chat and brainstorm how you are going to achieve, how you think we're going to achieve the background color change. I will still explain that in requirements. We also want to consider our color display. Want to consider our color display, you get, so that we can display the name of the colors that is being displayed whilst the user clicks on the button. Next thing you also want to consider that will be needed for this application is your predefined colors. So you have a list of colors. I'm pretty sure I can hear you guys in the background say that you would like need an array of list of colors, and that's correct. Yeah. So just have it at the back of your mind. But this is like high level abstraction of us listing exactly what we want for the application. So the last thing we want to consider is our initial setup. So this initial setup has to do with, okay, when the page loads, the background color should be white. You get, so by default, when the page loads, so you're considering everything that's going to happen in this application. So when the page loads, you want by default that the background color should be white. So the background color should be white, and no color name should be displayed. All right, so we don't want any color name to be displayed by default. So essentially, these are the requirements for the program. So I'd have to stop here because of network issues, and if there'll be another live to follow up on this, I'll let you know. But I'll do a pre-recorded version and share with us, and then you can drop your comments. But in the meantime, I'd like you to think on how we have considered solving this problem, or how we have considered creating this application. You can see from the beginning, we did not go straight into writing code. We started from a high level abstraction to see what the problem is about, to see the requirements, and from there we can now streamline to knowing our objective and then writing the steps or algorithm. Then afterwards, we can now write the pseudocode. From there, we'll now be able to write our code that will make this application go live. All right, so that'll be all for now. If you have any comments, you can put it in the chat. I will check the chat before I end the live. So before I end the live, I would like to see your comments on whether you're cool with it and that you follow up on the next pre-recorded version video I'll be uploading. So I'll give you 5 minutes because I'm thinking there might be a delay on your end. So yeah, I'll wait. I'll be stopping or ending the live now. So see you guys later.